This is a French loaf. Normally I'd use Italian, but because we're having so many meats, I want it really wide. Usually, I'll show you why. Here's an actual Italian loaf. You can see how skinny it is. It's still soft and chewy. It has a hard crust on the outside, but it's just not gonna hold all the stuff we're gonna put in it. So we're gonna save that for dipping into broth and whatever. So for right now, that's going back in the fridge. Once I figure out what the hell that is. Alright. So, first things first. This is again, French bread. I just cut it in half and I scooped out all the stuff. Because you don't want all the bread in there. You need pockets to hold all the meat. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna walk this way. We're gonna go to our Breville air fryer that we got for Christmas. We're gonna put it in here, and we're just gonna do a toast. The default setting is fine, 4. Let it run. All right. So as far as prep goes, we have some red wine vinegar, some extra virgin olive oil. This is Malabar black pepper. We have 3 salts in here. We have Himalayan pink, just regular kosher, and then gray salt. We're gonna probably go with actually the Himalayan, I think, because it's just a lighter grind. Of course, you have to have oregano anytime you make an Italian sandwich. And of course, this is a Jardiniere. This is from Del Falco's down the street. It's really good. As far as meat selection, we have a Applewood smoked ham. They didn't have the ham I wanted, so I had to go with that. We have a Sopressata hot. We have a Mortadella, and we have a Capicola. So those are the 4 meats we're going to be putting onto our sandwich. Then of course, some people I know do not put mayonnaise on their sandwich. But you know what? I love mayonnaise. It's great. If you don't want to add it, fine. Don't add it. If you do, great. I think it's nice because it creates a barrier between the crust without making it really soggy. So while we go on to that, while the bread is toasting, we're gonna go ahead and cut this. We don't need much right now because it's just a small thing. So we're just gonna cut this in half. Just gonna go aside. All right. And then we're gonna do just kind of a fine shred, a ribbon shred. So. As I get closer, you turn it over so you don't cut yourself. But what you want at the end of the day is a nice. Now, a lot of people pick out like they don't like the crunchy parts, but I kind of like them because of the texture. But this part, we don't want that. So this part right here, we're just gonna kind of fold in. And since it's here, because it's going onto the sandwich, a lot of people just put the oil and red vinegar onto the sandwich directly. I don't think I don't want to do that. So what I'd rather do is we're gonna take the olive oil and we're gonna put a couple glugs here. Get that going. Then we're gonna take some of the red wine vinegar. Let that go. I'm gonna do some pepper. Make sure it's a coarse grind. We don't want it too fine. Now this is Malabar again. Tella cherry is also preferred, or a mix of the two. But I definitely recommend going with a better pepper than what normally you get at the store. So let's stick with that. And of course, since it's lettuce, it needs salt. We said with the gray salt, too coarse. We don't want the kosher. We'll go with the Himalayan. So we're gonna do some of that. Just sprinkle it around. Just enough, you know, as you need. If you don't want salt, don't add it. That's our bread going off, but that's fine. We'll let that run. I'm gonna mix this real quick. Good to go. And actually, might as well add the parsley. This is just regular, or sorry, not parsley, oregano. You don't want you don't want Mexican oregano. That would be if you're making chili or something. We're gonna stick with just the standard oregano. So let that go. I'm actually gonna set this aside and put that into a bowl. All right, so our bread went off. We don't want to get obviously really toasted. We just want a nice foundation, you know. So we wanted the crispiness on the outside, but still soft in the middle. So we're gonna go ahead and take this over to the cutting board. And we're gonna lay this out. That's our base. So here we go. First things first, mayonnaise. Now, if you don't want mayonnaise on there, don't add mayonnaise. I happen to love mayonnaise, and you need a healthy coating of it. So we're gonna go ahead and add that. A lot of people actually will consider this with an Italian sandwich. They'll say, oh no, you never add mayonnaise, you never add mayonnaise. But I don't know, it's kind of an Americanized version, I guess. So you definitely want to add the mayonnaise just because not only does it add some creaminess to the sandwich, but it puts a layer of fat against the bread, so all the juices from the meat and the jardiniere and everything else, and the oil and vinegar, it doesn't soak all into the bread and make it really soggy. So that's actually kind of the real purpose of the mayonnaise, is it's a buffer. We want it there to, you know, to stop that from happening. And that we're good with that. And I think we're gonna season that with just some pepper. We don't need salt because we already have, you know, ham and everything else going on here. So just some pepper. All right, we can start assembling now. So we're gonna start with, we have two sides, the bigger side and the smaller side. So obviously this is where I'm gonna keep the toppings. This is where I'm gonna do my major foundation. So first we're gonna start with probably this is the Applewood smoked bacon. Really good. And you don't, like a lot of people, you know, you can lay it out flat. Now if you've worked at a Subway or been at a Subway, you know, they do the folds and stuff. You definitely want to fold because you want the texture to go all the way through as you're eating the sandwich. So we don't want, you know, we want a nice layer. So I'm gonna put a couple slices of this and maybe one more. And then once that is done, we're gonna go with let's go with the mortadella next. Mortadella, beautiful piece of meat, has pistachios in it. So mortadella, if you can see it, like right there, there's really little bit of green. I mean, it's not like you're gonna get giant chunks of pistachio. It's just what they put in there. It's just part of mortadella. I'm not going to put too much on this. It's not as salty. If I had to describe the flavor to you, I would say it's kind of like a sweet ham. It's not salty, but it's, you know, it's got the fat to it and it's got the texture of the pistachio. So we're gonna put a good healthy serving of this. Now, if you can't get mortadella, and you know, no problem. Just use something else. You can use roast beef, whatever you want. You can use, I mean, if you want to do roast turkey, any meat, that's fine, will work. Alright, so I think that's good on that. Now we're gonna go to this beautiful. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? This is the sopacetta. This is spicy. So flavor-wise, it's got a little. There's a hot version and just a regular version. But when I say hot, like don't think like jalapeno or habanero. It's just like a hot Italian sausage. It's got enough kick to it that it's good, but like it's not gonna, burn your mouth type thing. It's got nice fat content, which you want. So we're gonna layer this out. There's just more Nutella in. You wanna keep everything into that little bowl we created originally. That was the whole purpose of taking the original bread out. We don't want all that bread because it's all about the meats and everything else in between. It's not the bread really. I mean, the bread is just your vessel. It's your boat for holding all this. So we're gonna pop that in there. All right. So that's done. So we did the mortadella, and the last thing is the capicola. Now this is the hot version as well. And if I describe this, it's your basically salami. Not the cheap stuff you get at the store. It's definitely a little more expensive, but it's totally worth it because it's got that real good kick to it. A lot of good peppercorn, and my video person here keeps. You can see already here the peppercorns and stuff they have in it. It has a really good flavor to it and a lot of good richness. So we kind of want to get in there. Layer as you will. Put as much as you want. Put whatever you're comfortable with. If you it's all up to you. Like I said, it's a sandwich. At the end of the day, if you want roast turkey, if you want honey baked ham, go for it. Do your thing. It's up to you.
As long as you include a glass of wine.
As long as you include, by the way, that reminds me, a glass of wine. So cheers to that. So I think we have enough of the meat there. We can set that aside. Now, I showed you originally, a lot of videos will tell you, like they just kind of throw the red wine vinegar and olive oil and salt and pepper and oregano just all on top. But to me, the lettuce is, you need to consider like a salad. So this is where I put the salt and the pepper and the oregano and the red wine vinegar and everything else. So you want that to get in there. I like a lot of lettuce on my thing. It's a sandwich. You got to counter with all the fattiness of the beef and the meats. You need something to cut through all that fat. So you need that vinegar. You need that acid. You need something to get through all that. So we're gonna put a pretty heavy hand on this. Now this is only half of a French loaf here, so I have a lot more salad than I should have made, but that's fine because I still have that little Italian loaf I originally showed you in the beginning. So I can make that tomorrow, and I can use that to make grilled cheese or whatever. I can panini press this, whatever. So I'm gonna push that down. And next up, let's see. So you definitely want some tomato. Now these are some heirloom tomatoes. They may look like green tomatoes, but they are not. They are in fact heirloom. Go with a red aroma tomato. Any tomato is fine. Just find something that has some good flavor. You're good to go. You don't need to add salt or anything to this because it's already on the salad and already on the mustard. The mayonnaise. So that's enough for that. And then the next thing, close it up real quick. is now, I like red onions. You can go with sweet onion, like Vidalia. You could go, a sweet yellow onion. You could go white onion. You could go red, or you could go no onion. Now, my fiance does not like onions, so I'm only gonna put onions on my side because she doesn't like them. And I love onions. And this is just, it's a half chop. So basically, if you have the onion, you have the root end and the stem end where the bulb actually grows out from, to the surface. You cut it in half and then you just do as thin as possible. So that's how this was cut, just really thin. I'm gonna sneak some on her side, just because I know it just makes the sandwich. I mean, it's what you need on there. All right, so we'll close that up real quick. All right, next thing. Now this is totally optional. This is a jardiniere. There's many, you can make your own. There's many recipes you can find. Usually it's gonna be carrots, celery, cauliflower. It all depends. Now this one was from the company we went to get the meat. So this one actually comes with peppers, oil, celery, olives, vinegar, salt, and spices. There's a hot version and a regular version. So since we already have a little heat going on, I decided to go with a mild option. So we're just gonna kind of just, spread this out a little bit over here. Not too much. 'Cause you don't want it to overpower. And then, of course, the last thing we need. Delicious. I mean, you could eat that on your own. Holy crap. It's like olives. It's great. Let's close it up real quick because they overfilled it. We have cheese toppings. Obviously, you have to have cheese on a sandwich. Now, we went ahead and bought this beautiful imported sharp provolone. Now, I'm sure you've all had provolone before, and when you eat it, it's like kind of buying really cheap Swiss cheese. It tastes like nothing. There's no flavor at all. Actually, at the place we went to, they won't even slice this because it's just the harder version of the cheese. And that's fine. But if you try the difference between a sliceable, quote unquote, provolone and an actual, like this provolone, as you can see there, if you can zoom in on that. I mean, this is, it's about $16 a pound. We only got a quarter pound of it because, there's enough to use for other stuff. We're going to go really thin. They say they can't slice it, but, I mean, they have a deli slicer and they're telling me they can't slice it. But look, I'm totally able to slice it. This one's a little thick. But I'm going to try and go a little smaller. We just want shreds. So let's shred some up. And of course, there's that rind to worry about. Not a problem. We can always just take that off to the side. So we're gonna do a couple of these on the top here. A couple more on the top here. We don't want too much cheese because, honestly, it's all about the meats again. There's no point in, the cheese should not be the star. It's all about the combination of everything together. The tart, the vinegar, the olive oil. This one's a little thicker, so kind of spread it in there. And then once I get the last of this cheese on, there's one more step. So let me finish this off. You think that's enough cheese, or you want a little more?
More.
A little more? All right. Go ahead and actually just cut this rind off. This is actually great to use if you're making risotto or anything where a cheese rind is called for. That's where you would use that. So we'll add a little bit more cheese. Like I said, it's a harder cheese, and if I have to share a flavor to you,
It's very mild, but
this
really-
is imported or cheese. It's a basically anything you get from the deli, Albertson, Safeway, whatever, which has no flavor. This is like 100 times flavor. So we are all done with this at this point. There's nothing left. We've done our tomatoes. We've done everything. We're gonna fold it over. And yes, it may look like a lot of it won't fit in there, which is fine. That's the whole goal. Put this to the side for a second. So, here's what I recommend. A lot of people immediately make a sandwich and they just want to start cutting it and eating it. No. We're going to wrap this first. You can use cling wrap, a saran wrap, whatever, or aluminum foil. Whatever you have. Anything you can get a nice tight fold in. So I'm gonna get a pretty long length here of this. About yay long. So about 2 feet almost. Let me cut that. And scoot the sandwich to the side. Alright, we're gonna lay this down. And of course, being saran wrap, it's always gonna be a pain in the ass. Now, here's where the magic happens. So, we want to pull. This is important. So, the cling wrap is on the bottom. I'm pulling back on it, and I'm pressing forward. And then as I get towards the end, I'm pulling back again to get it tight. And I'm going to fold it just to get it wrapped up. And then the last thing, sorry for the mess here, we just want to weigh the sandwich down. Now, you could do this overnight, or the same day, but really we're only looking for about maybe 15 minutes or so. We just want the weight to, we want to really push it down because we want this. It's too. You don't want to you don't want to bite into a sandwich where you gotta open your mouth like a snake. So we want a nice good sandwich, but we want to press this down and all the oil and everything else to extract out. So I'm gonna keep putting more and more weight on as it allows. And these are all pans I've set aside that need to be re-seasoned, which I'll definitely do a video on showing you how to do that. But you want to balance it. I'm a little off kilter here. Let me move it. Alright, and then once that's set, I'll see you guys in about 15 minutes. All right, and we're back. It's been about 25-30 minutes. Like I said, you can keep it in the fridge overnight. You can let it go all day. You definitely want to press it though, because I'm going to explain why in a second here. But I switched obviously from the bottle of wine ran out. We're on to beer. So, let's take all this weight off. And again, as I did say, these are all rusted. They need to be re-seasoned. I will show you a video on how to actually do that properly. So you can see how flat this got. If you can get a side angle, see how, I mean, we're talking about maybe an inch and a quarter, inch and a half at most, and you can see a lot of the liquid has poured out on the side. That's fine. That's what you want, because you need that in there. It's what makes the sandwich edible. So I'm gonna, temporarily, I'm just gonna turn it over and wipe the board off. We don't want all this juice, because that was the whole point, was to extract all this juice. Now you could have totally done a panini press. You know, if you have that, or you could have taken 2 cast iron skillets, put them in the oven at, I don't know, 400, 500 degrees, and you could have done it that way. But you want a sandwich that's edible, and obviously this is edible. You know, it's not a giant sandwich. It's something you can actually put into your mouth. So let me toss this saran wrap out of the way real quick. Wipe this board off again. Alright, so we have this. And now it all depends on how you want to cut it. If it's just you, I mean, wow, just eat it. But you know, since we're gonna do a actually, how should I cut this?
Strips.
We're probably gonna go into strips. So let's first, just to make this even, only because it's a video, I'm just gonna cut this portion off and push it to the side.
Ooh, thank you.
That's little nubs for the chef. Now, as far as this goes, basically, we're just gonna do nice, about but
It's more like 1.5.
I'm not gonna worry about cutting the rest for you. Let's go ahead and get a side shot. So here's what it looks like sidewise. Nice and it's all flattened down. Looks beautiful. Let's see how it tastes.
Some moisture, some crunch. Zoom in on the bad boy.
So, obviously, the first thing you taste is the bread, the crunch on the outside. Then you get the mayo. Now, if you didn't add mayo, I'm sorry. you need to learn to use mayo. And then you get the jardiniere. You get everything just kind of layers down. And you get the red onion that has a nice bite. Everything just like melds into a perfect symphony of a sandwich. I mean, you cannot get better than this. Like, you could give, here's your kid's lunch for tomorrow. You give this to your kid for his lunch sandwich, and every kid next to him would be like, they're gonna be trading him all their yogurts and dessert and Twinkies and whatever the hell else I got. But
Mom of the year, right there.
Yeah, let's see the video camera. Let's see if she likes it. And this is onion too. She doesn't like onion. Is the onion key?
Actually, it's
You
not.
don't really know. It's not overpowering. No.
Yeah.
That's why I say red onion is a good choice, because yellow or white, you can never really tell how much sulfur content is. You can always wash your onion and keep it in water for about 20 minutes to kind of dissolve or to dissipate some of that sulfur. But a red onion is always a good choice. So, I mean, actually, the best part of the sandwich is the provolone. Do not skimp on the provolone.
I honestly would add even more than what we added.
Go for the sliceable, if you know, if you want to go that route. But go ahead and spend the $15. You know, it's $15 for a pound of the really good stuff. Buy a quarter pound. It's cheap. It just adds so much depth. It's got that umami flavor. It's like that flavor that you can't describe. You just.
My turn.
I mean, there's no words.
I'll take that.
And then she's taking that. That's a wrap though. Until next time, I'll see you guys soon. Have a good night. Cheers.